So to start off, if you just want to introduce yourself and tell us your role on Army of T3.
Yes, Julien Lamoureaux, lead designer on Army of Two, The Devil's Cartel.
What are you showing off here at the showcase? What are people getting a chance to play?
It's called the Ghost Town demo, so it takes part further down the game, and then Alpha and Bravo, which are our two main characters, are going against Batista, who's the cartel leader.
One of the new modes I've seen being shown off here is this Overkill mode. Can you give us an idea about what that is?
So the idea behind the Overkill is whenever players are like playing, normally they kill, they complete their objective, they're going to get a little bit of overkill points. But if they start playing together, so for instance they shoot the same guy together, or one is taking the aggro, the other one flanking the enemies, then it's going to make flank kill or tag team or like what we call co-op action, then it's going to give you more points. Eventually the more co-op you play, the faster you fill your overkill meter. Once your overkill meter is ready, this is where it really gets fun because then you can activate the overkill. And the idea behind the overkill is really to make the most out of the Frostbite 2 engine. So basically when you trigger it, you're practically invincible, you create a lot of damage, you don't have to reload, you have infinite ammo.
So it gives you this kind of slow motion as well, making it really kind of epic and cinematic.
Yeah, so the slow motion comes in when you start the double overkill. So because we're a co-op game, whenever one player decides to go in a single overkill, the other player is benefiting from it because again, we want the player to feel like they're a part of a team. But then if the second player who's benefiting from the single overkill decides to trigger his own overkill, well then the same principle apply, but then both players goes into what we call double overkill. Then you have time dilation, even more destruction, and it lasts even longer.
Fantastic. So does that mean you've taken out things like the co-op sniping that you had in the last game and the morality moments, things like that?
Yeah, the morality is something that we decided to get rid of for the simple reason that when we started that project, basically it's on Frostbite 2, so when you're changing engine in the gaming world, it means that you basically have to go back and redo all your bases. So we're like, let's max out on that, like let's capitalize on that co-op experience and really let's make sure that we're polishing everything that we're putting into the game.
So you've taken out the kind of the partner interaction in the terms of like the fist bumping and the air guitaring and things like that. Does that mean the game's kind of lost its sense of humor, or is there still some of that in the game?
No, we still have humor. It's just like because we're in the Mexican setting, we wanted to be a bit more sensitive maybe about the subject because like there's a lot of heat on the actual drug cartel. We still think it's a really cool setup and like people are really resonating with it. But we're like, okay, so what does it mean to go in Mexico? And because we wanted to be more serious, we didn't necessarily, like you said, wanted like I-5 in the middle of like battlefield. So what we did is that we went with more sophisticated humor. So for instance, we're going to use more sarcasm and irony, and it's going to happen a bit more like in between combats. But we still have like colorful characters and cool dialogues. It's just we're trying to be a bit more mature maybe about it.
So you touched on the setting there, this Mexican drug cartel. I mean, this is a real life situation. It's a real kind of problem for that part of the world. Were you wary about approaching something like that?
Yes, for sure. We thought about it, but again, like when we went back to the drawing boards and decided, like, okay, what are we trying to do with that game? We felt like the story was maybe something that we could explore more, and we're like, okay, so how are we going to do that? And then we're like, well, we need a cool settings, and we felt like the Mexican drug war was a setting that was not really exploited yet in terms of like scenes. Like Mexico is a super cool country. There's a lot of variety in terms of like the environments. Like there's like a bunch of various landscape and we're like, this is a nice setting. The drug war is definitely something that people are curious about. They want to know more. We're trying to be as authentic as we can. We have like the actors, the actual Spanish, the reference. Like we're really trying to be authentic. And also, it's not like the Alpha and Bravo are going in there to kill everybody. Like we're not killing any civilians, any cops. We're being really respectful with the actual Mexican people. Like these guys are there to do a job, and their job is to kill really evil drug dealers.
Working with the Frostbite 2 engine, how has that been, and what's that brought to the game?
Well, the destruction to start with, obviously. So Overkill wouldn't be Overkill without the destruction that Frostbite 2 is bringing to the table. The rendering, like the graphics of the game, the animation, everything. Like basically, it's Frostbite 2 is a really powerful engine. So it's always cool to work with it.
And working with Visceral as well as a developer, how's that been?
Well, the Visceral has always been focused on quality, so this is kind of the approach we're kind of taking, right? Again, like we don't have any competitive multiplayer, but the reason being is that we decided to really focus our resources. Instead of spreading ourselves too thin, we're like, what are we trying to do here? And what we're trying to do is a really memorable, intense co-op campaign. And this is where we decided to put all our money, right?
Yeah, and I understand the game has split-screen co-op as well, right?
Yes. The beauty about this one is that you're going to be able to play in co-op in single player with a partner AI. in split screen and online co-op. But also it's persistent, like your character progression. So you can start mission 1 by your own on split screen, single player, then play with a buddy on split screen in mission 2, then maybe come back to a single, then go online to finish mission 3, and your character progression, customization, all that is going to follow you.
Cool. Now these new characters, Alpha and Bravo. People who are fans of Salem and Rios, they're still in the game, right?
Yeah, they are still in the game and they play a key role in the actual story. And then the story again, that, like the same way we were using, they were using basically the Mexican drug cartel setting to really attract people and like really resonate with people. We felt like yes, we wanted like Alpha and Bravo to kind of give that feeling of like we're trying to. Not reboot is maybe not the right word, but we're trying to do something a bit more different. But we wanted to still use like Simon and Rios so that players can still relate in the story.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, is there just anything you would like to say to Army of Two fans who are kind of waiting for the game? Have you got a message for them?
Wait for it. It's gonna rock.